inch of water in my basement. So,
all right, that's how the podcast started, with someone saying
underwater,
an inch of water in their basement. Welcome to the latest installment of the Run to Daylight podcast. It is the Hardway Draft. Hardway Draft 3. I'm your host, Todd Burrows, Todd from PA on Twitter. And so far, we're joined by a number of the drafters in the draft. We're going to be doing a 350 FFPC Football Guys Championship. The defending champion is Dave Hubbard. He probably will not be joining us, which is probably why he won last year. I'm joined by the scoundrel, Todd Hunter. We are going to try and prove this year if the hunter becomes the hunted. I've got two-time defending champion, Skywalker 2000 of the FBG, replacing Nelson Souza. I've got Theo Greminger, and welcome, Theo. I've got my erstwhile sometime partner, Billy Musio, attacking me today. I've got Austin Martin, it looks like. First time he's joined the pod. This will be fun. And I think Dan Williamson will be joining us as well. This is a draft that is on the FFPC. Our friends at the FFPC have the Football Guys Championship, $500,000 on top. If you want to play against one of us, you have to go to myffpc.com, sign up. It's a tight end premium. You only start 2 wide receivers with 2 flex spots, and let's go. My co-host today, the GOAT himself, JD, first time on the pod. Welcome, GOAT.
Thanks for having me, Todd. This is an honor, man. The first time I ever got on the mic, I don't know if you remember, years ago, was with you, actually. You were kind enough to invite me, so I appreciate the full circle.
And then you went and stole Dan from me. That was some thank you.
Something like that.
I'm teasing. I had no claims on Dan. Was it for an SFB Scott Fishbowl that I had you on?
Actually, I think it was. I think you're doing a Scott Fishbowl series on your Run to Daylight.
Yeah, I used to do this Scott Fishbowl thing where I would. Wow, I don't even know how to get. There's Dan. Dan in the backyard.
Nice.
So I used to do this Scott Fishbowl thing where I would have all the people on, give them like 10, 15 minutes each. And the divorce kind of killed that. I didn't have the energy for that. So we've got a few new guys this year. Theo is one of them. Theo, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I know you're a regular now with JD and Dan on the GOAT podcast. I listened to the episode with Habib. That was some real – stop with the goat noises, all right? This is the Run to Daylight podcast. And I haven't got my soundboard together yet, so I can't bomb you out of here yet, JD. But I can remove you from the stream. We're about to go live. We're about a minute and a half away. The first pick will be Darren Armani, Fantasy Mojo, who was here and then disappeared. He seems to have an issue every year with something going on. Austin's in the 2 spot. Austin Martin won. I think it was how much did Austin win? $500,000 in the contest a couple years ago. The
playoff leagues, yeah.
The postseason. I'm in the 3rd spot. Dan Williamson is in the 4th spot. Hi, Dan.
Hey, how you doing, Todd?
You look good, brother.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, enjoying a very nice Minnesota evening, so might as well be outside.
Hilo, my other erstwhile partner from 1 week season, is I think on the poker table drafting, so he's in the 5-hole. Nice. Theo is in the 6-hole. Ron, who won it year 1, is in the 7-hole. Abib in the 8th hole. My buddy Billy is in the 9-hole, in between Abib and Triple H in the number 10 hole. A little bit of trash talking going on, Billy, with you and Dave Hubbard. I think Dave is like the last guy I talk trash to.
I like to poke the beast a little bit, get him fired up, get underneath the skin, and then just set him free.
Off his game.
All right.
Throw him off.
And that
Oh,
was all
wow.
my daughter's idea, by the way.
Triple H looks like he tried to come on, but it says, Dave, if you're listening, your devices are not connected. So, story of my life. That was one of my ex-wives' complaints. Oh, I'm on the clock.
Yes, you are.
So, Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin and
Chalk 1-2.
yep.
It's gonna be a
That-
chalk
that-
3. I can tell.
Yep, that
No.
is me. That is me. I am known for, you could see the scroll of what I'm known for.
He's got to pull a muscle reach in here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Oh wow!
Did you have your guy figured out, Todd, before you came on, or you're just kind of
No, yeah, I knew I was taking Zeke.
all right?
I feel like there's a couple reasons for it. I'm going to get accused of reaching again to make a statement, but I find that this league, more than any other, I've over the last couple of years, has been the hardest to find a running back. And Kelsey's a 30-something-year-old tight end. This is the hardest league that I'm in. And I think if I'm going to mix it up and look for a different build, this is the draft that I'm going to do it in. And I feel like, taking a tight end early, you can really end up with a build you're not happy with. Theo, what's your thoughts on that?
You are up next.
I can see it. I probably would have gone with Kelsey there in the 3 spot. But I can understand why you did it. It's going to be a very high scoring offense.
My erstwhile partner, Billy, was the only one who knew that I was going in this direction. Billy, do you want to give me some shit?
Eckler.
That's who I was gonna take if Kelsey had been
Damn.
gone. So
Wow.
yeah,
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
I think people are sleeping
Wow,
on Zeke
wow.
this year. Everyone has recent biases in their mind. I mean, people forget how potent this offense was before Dak got hurt. And Zeke was, the running back 1, the running back 2, week in and week out up until Dak got hurt. And then when this offensive line went into shambles, that's when kind of all the wheels fell off. And then that's all people can remember is the tail end, the second half of the season. And I think people are sleeping on Zeke this year with everybody coming back.
Well, Theo is the beneficiary of my decision with the king falling, and of course Dan. But when Kelsey gets hurt week 1, Dan, you're going to be cursing my name.
well, it wasn't far from that when I took Kittle in the 12th hole last year. So I do feel like I'm kind of going down that same path where I got burned.
Well, the other thing I did before making the decision was I decided to look at the winning lineups, first and second place from the last 2 years, and none of first or second place in the last 2 years started with a tight end. So that was my thought. Abib, what's your thought on my taking Zeke
Habib
so
is up
early?
right now.
Yeah, I'm not happy with you because I was fully anticipating having him fall to 8. Now I have a very tough decision here. Do I take the value in Kamara or do I take my boy Barkley?
I always think taking the guy coming off 3 knee ligaments in round 1 is a good idea.
Yeah,
personally.
it's the type of draft where you got to roll the dice a
15
bit.
seconds left.
And he loves Taysom Hill too, so I know he's
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or the guy that disappears from anywhere without Breeze.
And there is Austin Martin. Hey,
oh.
Austin, nice to
right.
see you in
Mara,
person.
ooh.
How we doing, guys?
Good. I'm glad you could join us.
What's up, Austin?
What's
How
up,
you doing,
Austin?
man?
Hey,
Very well.
All right, Museo's up. JD, you want to ask somebody a question while I go make my cue?
Yeah, I'm just going back to Eckler. Is that kind of where he's being grabbed in these tournaments? Because he seems to be going like kind of back end of 1, early 2 best ball styles and in other drafts. Is this where he's going, or is that kind of a bit of a reach because of who we're drafting with?
that's definitely a reach.
Yeah, he's
I mean-
definitely going later.
He's got Ben Gay on right now as he clicked that button.
All right, so
Not
we
that
have
there's
Kittle.
anything wrong with it.
No,
Muzi
not
would
at
take in
all.
the first receiver in Hill.
I love that pick, Billy. I was going to take him there at 6 if Henry wasn't there. Henry just kind of threw me for a loop, but I was ready to take
Yeah.
Tyreek. I think he's wide receiver 1 this year. Big time year coming.
Yeah, I think the only one I would have taken over him right there would have been Kamara if he fell, but my boy Beeb grabbed him.
Hill was the other guy I was thinking.
So Billy took Tyreek. Triple H took the guy with the bad knee. Abib took Kamara, and Scoundrel with Cam Akers. I know that a lot of people are down on Cam Akers. Hold on, I got to let somebody on. Hello. Mark
What is
Garcia joins us. Hey, have you gotten felted yet, or is that wrong to ask?
So I got the time zones mixed up, standard high-low, and the draft started an hour before the satellite tournament starts, so I'm good to go for a while.
All right.
Nice.
Well, good to see you. I don't see. This is the most we've ever had on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Triple H is kind of on, but his devices are not connected. I think he was probably trying to listen to the draft. Noah and Evan Silva start with Chubb and Diggs. Austin, what's your thoughts on that turn? You're muted, buddy.
Austin's muted.
Classic. It's a little early for me for Chubb. I mean, he's fine. I like him. I've got a stake in Chubb in Dynasty, so I don't feel really too inclined to go after him real aggressively in redraft.
He didn't have a great win rate last year, and neither did Hunt. And I find that some people even want them in the same draft, which I think is, ludicrous.
It's fine. I love the talent. I think everyone would agree on that. It's just not a great setup. And I know the Browns are going to be really strong, right? They've got a great O-line, should score a lot of points. Just with Hunt there, it's just, I don't know. I'm passing there.
Yep. All right. And then Najee Harris with Cam Akers. I'm going to predict that the Scoundrel is not going to come in second place this year. Now I find that a little early, Todd, for Najee Harris. What's your thoughts behind taking him at 2-2?
I fully expect the Steelers' offense to be cranking a lot better than it was this year, for a number of reasons. I think Ben's arm's going to get better. I think their defense is going to get worse. And Harris he's got all the weapons, man. He's got great soft hands. He's an incredible runner. I think he's going to, Connor's been overrated since he did well that one season and everybody expected him to do better, and he just kind of fell away because he's not the talent that Harris is. So I fully expect Harris to be more along the lines of Bell at peak performance.
Dan, what's your thoughts on Najee Harris at 2-2?
It's a little bit early for me. I understand why people are taking him there. So, I don't think it's a bad pick or anything. It's just not the pick I would make. I liked Hubbard's pick of Gibson right there. That's somebody I'm pretty high on as well. So, yeah.
I thought about Gibson, but Gibson's still got that toe injury he's complaining about, and there's still some height or some thought that he may miss a little time if he has to worry about that turf toe injury. So he's definitely one of my favorite guys, but he worries me with that toe.
Billy Musio with Tyreek Hill and Darren Waller.
I like it.
Billy, excellent players, lot of points there. Any concerns about not getting running backs?
Yeah, hence the hesitation on the pick. I wasn't expecting him to be there around the turn here. I thought about him there over Tyreek at 9, and it's just I was expecting him to go between the turn, and it didn't. So I'm okay with him there. I would honestly prefer to have a running back, but I think it's gonna. At that point, I'm going to take one of the best positional players at the tight end spot and hope for the best later in running back.
JD, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, I was going to go to Muzio because I do like that start. If you're looking at this draft right now, it's you want to differentiate. That's definitely the one that's differentiating. I think you're seeing the running backs go early just because I think it was you, Todd, or someone mentioned how hard it was to have a running back in this position. So I'll go to you, my buddy Dan. Are you worried about your running back situation? You went Kelsey, and then I know you're a big fan of Ridley.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I would have ideally preferred a running back there, but, all the guys I thought that fit in that spot were gone. So I was hoping for Mixon. I didn't think was much of a chance. I thought Edwards-Helaire might fall to me, but I was prepared to go Ridley if I needed to. I knew when I took Kelsey, I was going to be taking a chance, especially in this room, because the running backs do go so fast. But I'm also not afraid of going with the 0 running back build, and so we'll just have to, we're off the rails already, so we're going to stay all the way off the rails.
Well, one thing that I didn't want to say, obviously, when I took Zeke Elliott was in this draft, I honestly thought there was a chance that I might get Kittle. And I thought that would be a stronger running back tight end build than Kels and whoever I might get at tight end. So, Austin, give me your thoughts on my taking Kittle there.
I'm kind of interested to see what Mojo is going to do here and make my pick at 302, and then
I forgot. Would you have taken Kittle if he had been there?
Yeah, I would have taken Kittle there. I haven't really looked to see if that's the first. I think that's the furthest he would have dropped. I'm not sure if anyone's paired Delvin with Kittle yet. Probably won't be too many of those. So, for that reason, probably would have snapped him up there. Same reason I considered Adams. If he moves up, that might be a little bit more rare, but I'm just going to pick my guys here in a league that's going to be really tough to win and go with it. So
that's the latest I've seen Adams go as well. Theo, have you seen Adams go into the third round?
No, that's easily the latest I've seen him go. The volume will be there no matter who the quarterback is. So I think that's great value right there from Mojo.
While Todd's picking here, guys, I'm going to ask. I'll go back to you, Theo. When you're drafting against sharks like this this is tournament within a tournament, right? It's a league within a tournament. So how much are you thinking about differentiating for the big tournament versus winning this league specifically?
I'm only thinking about winning this league. I don't think any big overall winner is going to come out of this group. It's going to be very hard to extract value, and I don't want to fall flat on my face. So I'm not concerned about anything other than doing very, very well in this league.
Yeah, I love DeAndre Swift this year. He's been dropping, but it's kind of interesting not coming out of the top 3 rounds with a wide receiver. I'm not used to that. Dobbins just goes to Dan. Dan gets a pretty good running back. I know a lot of us are pretty high on Dobbins. Abib, are you high on Dobbins? Are you high on Swift? What are your thoughts on those two?
I love where Swift is going right now in drafts. He's almost lock button for me in the 3rd round.
Which one?
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah. I call him Alvin Kamara Jr.
Yeah. I honestly am not buying at all into the Todd Gurley signing. And even if they do split work, I think he's going to get a lot of the value touches. He was a high per touch player last year when it came to fantasy points. So I love the talent. I love the situation. Love the O-line. I think that's a great start for you.
Did they sign Gurley or did they? I heard they did.
They've
they
just
didn't
talked
offer him
about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark Garcia, we got Mark back. While we have you, Mark, talk about your draft. I like your draft so far, Mark.
Yeah, I figured I'd shake something up a little bit in the first, taking Eckler that high. But the goal was to basically get Keenan on the comeback. So I don't think it's kind of a weird dynamic in this league where you got to balance, overall draft
Now
strategy with
you are on the clock.
trying to win this league. Overall draft strategy, I don't think there's going to be many Chargers stacking going on, so we'll see how that goes.
Hey guys, if you could turn down your computer sound a little bit, I think we're getting a little too many of "You're on the clocks." Make it so you can hear it, but not everyone else. Maybe.
That's a great podcast name. You're on the clock.
Yeah. Well, I thought of my porn one, but it was slightly different. All right, so let's go to Ron's draft. Taylor, Hopkins, and Lamb. That's a little early for Lamb, and that leaves Michael Thomas to go. Now, Habib, I loved Michael Thomas this year. If I hadn't taken Swift, I would have taken Thomas. But you've got Kamara and Thomas on the same team. Was this just you couldn't let Thomas fall anymore?
Yeah, it was between him and Terry McLaurin. If you want to call this a stack, not to start any controversial arguments here, but there are a few teams where I'm okay stacking or getting a running back and a wide receiver if I'm a believer in the offense. And this is one of those situations where we really don't know where it's going to go. We don't know who the starting quarterback is. But what I do know is is that their defense I don't think is going to be as good. So I think they're going to be more behind than not. I don't mind getting Kamara at 8 and Michael Thomas in the 3rd. I love as well.
Somebody got sniped.
The sound of agony.
Hubbard snapped Hawkinson from me. I'm sorry, Habib. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's right about where he's going.
Damn it. All right.
There's nothing quite like a live snipe.
Yeah. Didn't Simon and Garfunkel do a song, "The Sound of Snipage"?
Sound of sniping.
Exactly.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. You took my fucking pick again.
Hey, this is a family show. I'm the only one who's allowed to fucking curse.
Damn it. All right. Oh, fuck off. God damn it. All right. All right. I'm going to trust that Dalton's the starter.
Not a bad pick. Rob? Akers. Weren't you the one who hated his draft the first year, Scoundrel?
The first one that hated what?
The first year we did Hardway. I think you were one of the 2 or 3 people who really hated their draft. Is my memory correct?
Oh, my first year, I was completely unprepared for the ADP went out the window. Like with the
By the way,
caliber,
you're up.
the caliber of people. Yeah, I got you.
I don't want
the caliber of people that are in this draft. ADP goes out the window, so I fully expected to catch guys that I wasn't able to catch the first year, which is why I was competing with Crack Rock for the last place up until the last couple weeks of the season. So I adjusted my strategy last year and took second. So I'm prepared for you guys now. Damn it.
Well, I would like thoughts on Dave Hubbard's draft of Barkley, Gibson, and TJ Hawkinson. I will throw it to you, Brock Lesnar.
I really love Hawkinson in that
I
spot.
love how you answered to that without even
because it's become such a running thing on the go. JD's basically,
oh really? I had no idea.
JD's basically got me answering that. So
I thought I was going to be funny, and you're just like, oh yeah, well,
it's.
I broke him in for you, Todd.
But I like it. I mean, I think that he doesn't necessarily have the upside of what it could be, but I think he's absolutely in the top 5, and I think we could see him get 130 targets plus, and really have a productive season. So I like that start a lot for Hubbard.
Yeah, I wanted Hawkinson bad right there. That's why I screamed. It was a great pick.
Whoever you were on the clock. Turn that sucker down.
The wrong pick. Damn it.
Stop it. You can pause it and roll it back.
Oh, pause it.
Pause it. We can roll it back.
Yeah.
You can't pause in this draft.
No, the champ gets -1. He doesn't get to do it.
You got to tell the commish, not us.
We call it menopause. So
Godwin's going to finish wide receiver 1 now, right? You guys know that.
Exactly.
But by the way, Miles Sanders has been dropping precipitously.
As he
Billy,
should.
I know you love him, and to start wide receiver, tight end, wide receiver, and get Miles Sanders in the 4th round, I know you've got to be feeling pretty good about your draft right now.
Yeah, once Kamara was taken, I'm just not confident in where Barkley's knee is at right now. I'm not a big Akers fan. I felt like Chubb would have been a reach, so I started Tyreek. Then we already talked about the Waller slipping. At that point, I'm not going to pass on Terry McLaurin. And then being in a lot of these drafts with you over the past, pretty much multiple a day, we've been seeing Miles Sanders slip to the end of 4, quite frankly, and even on the turn sometimes in 5. And I knew he was going to probably make it back to me, so I was okay starting with 2 wide receivers and a tight end.
Yeah.
Abib, it's paused if you want to roll back your pick.
Okay, I think I'm just waiting on him to restart it.
JD,
I
what's
think
your
you,
thought?
you need to type into the. I'm sorry, Todd. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize. Abib, you type into the chat on the draft board for the commissioner and ask him to roll it back and tell him who you want.
He did that. He says wanted Carson.
So,
Oh, there it is. Got it. Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay.
I'll retype it just in case you missed it.
Sorry, Todd. I didn't mean to interrupt you, sir.
yeah. You just, you're the only other Todd with 1D. You get special benefits.
Hey, I don't know how many.
I literally went like 20 years of my life never seeing a Todd with 1D other than me. And then I end up in a draft with you. And there was a 3rd Todd originally. But
Yeah, but he had 2 Ds. By the
yeah,
way,
2
that-
Ds. He
Double
was,
D Todd.
I'm Todd
I mean,
Miller.
we didn't give him enough shit for having 2 Ds.
Yeah, you're right.
Because our whole life we had to explain to everyone we meet why we only have 1D. I finally asked my mom. We were at the she's in a nursing home, and I went first time after COVID, and I had my daughter there, and I go, so what was the deal with the 1D?
It took you this long to ask her?
I asked her once when I was like 17, but I wanted to see if the answer was the same. and it was.
That first year there was 3 Todds, 2 with 1D and 1 with 2 Ds. That was an interesting time. Godwin was the mistake pick, straight up mistake. What? Is there
Is that a
something wrong?
D measuring contest?
What?
Now you are on the clock.
Oh, somebody's on. There we go.
Yeah, he
All
fixed
right,
it.
Abib.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to do
No,
it.
turn down your damn computer. I mean, please.
There
Champ.
you go.
Problem is, I turned on my computer, Todd, and I can't hear anything. So
Oh, all right then. You
That's
get
why
a
I
pass.
went with the Beeb. That's a very good.
Dan
pick right
gets
there.
a pass. So Dan, talk about
There's
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry,
Who
Todd.
was
I didn't mean
talking?
to interrupt again, but in the upper right
course you
side, there's a part where it says audio on and
Oh,
audio
yeah.
off. You can actually turn off the audio.
oh, fine, I'll do that.
Yeah, and we'll make sure you don't miss a pick, right, guys?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Nope, definitely will not.
JD, what's your thoughts on the draft so far?
Yeah, man, I like it. There's a good variety. Usually, you see, you've got at least half the teams are very similar, whereas you got a nice
there's
mix.
Theo screwing me.
Theo took the stack away from our boy Dan.
I didn't realize I didn't even realize I was taking a stack. I don't look at other people's stacks, man.
Oh, you've been signing up to the guilds theories. Don't lie.
Mike Davis. Mike Davis goes in the 4th.
I just love the home value right there. That's the
Well,
one.
like I
one
said,
positive
this
about
draft,
this
this
draft.
draft running
Who's this
backs,
fucking guy?
running backs in this draft are.
We gotta eat something fast.
This is legitimately the hardest league every year. Like if you don't have, if you need a running back, it's hard to find one.
What? Azuzu.
Notice how I say that after I got my 2.
Hey, can I ask you guys
Yeah.
a question? If I turn my computer and you can see all the books behind me, does it make me look smarter?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
100%.
good.
and that's needed after your first 3 picks.
Oh,
Wow.
Sing!
Shots fired.
Woo! Hey, Todd, I remember you giving me shit about my draft last year also. Oh.
And you came in second place, and I sucked. So,
Hey, if you're not first, you're last.
Dan, talk about Demon a bit. He's kind of growing on me. I mean, you think if that offense gets it right, no matter who the quarterback is, he can kind of build on what he did last year against softer defenses, especially in the second half.
It's got to be Dalton.
That's the story I'm telling myself right now, JD.
Nice.
That's what's going to happen. The same as the story I was telling myself about J.K. Dobbins, a pick I also hated. But, it's been a little bit rough in the 4 spot. Probably, if I had to take it back, I would have just gone Eckler at 4, the way I was planning to, and left Kelsey. I really thought I was going to get Edwards-Helaire back to me in the second round. And the combination of those two has definitely thrown me onto a different track than I planned to be on. So we're just making chicken shit out of chicken salad or something here.
I definitely felt like there was a guy. Well, I can't say anything while someone's still on the board. Never mind. Let's talk about Mojo's draft. Theo, give me your thoughts on Mojo's draft so far.
So I like it. A lot of there's a kind of back and forth whether if you get first pick you should follow up running back, or at least one more running back. But I kind of like the get first or second pick and follow up with 2 fantastic receivers, and he certainly did that. I think Adams was a little bit of a gift there, and I took DK the other day at 26 overall. I like that value as well.
Hey
So
Theo,
I
why
like
don't you
Sark.
click out? Why don't you disconnect and click back in? You've been consistently hard to hear, going in and out. All right.
Bye, miss you.
Mojo reaching for Javonte Williams. That's an interesting one. Let's see who he adds to him. I think running back fever is taking over the land.
Did Darren ever rejoin us? Is he back in the room?
No, he didn't.
We're just gonna have to grab some.
All right, Theo, testing 1, 2, 3.
Can you guys hear me better?
No.
You are on the clock.
I mean, is everyone else hearing him?
He's a little bit softer, but it's fine.
Everyone else hearing him that way?
Yeah, it's a
Going
little
in and
cracky,
out?
but it's okay. It's fine.
I almost took this guy at 410, and I didn't because of, I already had this position, but I don't know how you pass on Mark Andrews at 5'3".
Oh, Todd, I'm a big fan, brother.
What's that?
I'm a big fan right now. I think Andrews, especially in tight end premium, look at that. He's going as a tight end 6. I'll bet anyone here that he finishes top 5.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on Andrews all along. Yeah, who's the one with loud background noise?
I think
Yeah,
You
no.
don't want the time to find out, bro.
I think it's Hilo, no?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Is it Mark and
There we go.
Mark and
That's it.
Casino?
Hold on a second. I gotta reply to something. JD, ask a question.
So I'm going to go to Martin, man. I'm liking the stack. AJ Brown and then Julio in the 5th. I mean, if you're going to stack an offense that should be launching the ball with their new additions, why don't you tell us about adding the second new receiver in Tennessee? Is Austin still on? Oh, yeah, there he is. Oh, no, he had to step away. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize he was away. The pictures are kind of small on the screen here. I'll go.
And now the dog wants to get in and get some attention.
Let's just go
There you go.
get some fucking pizza.
We've got dogs, we've got waitresses, we've got poker dealers. We've got it all here tonight, boys.
Now you are on the clock.
Dan, I'm going to go to you. Cooper Kupp. I feel like he's a guy that's not being talked about a lot. People are really liking Woods with Stafford coming there, but I think Cooper Kupp might be the sneaky guy to get, especially going in the 5th round right now, around these other pieces that are in this range.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's a smash pick right there in the 5th. I have no problem taking Kupp. I think, he's basically, he didn't score any touchdowns last year. Most years he scores a lot more. I expect it to even out. Woods got a lot of the touchdowns last year. So I'll definitely take whichever of the Los Angeles wide receivers goes later, and getting Kupp basically over a round later than Woods. That's definitely found money.
And he'll be 2 years removed now, no, from the injury. So last year was a bit of a anomaly, you would think maybe.
Yep. Yeah. And I was looking at Lockett or Thielen there too, so I would have been happy with any of those three. Deontay Johnson was also on the radar, so there was a nice little run of wide receivers there that I was more than happy to have.
Let's go back to Austin. Austin, we already just talked to him while I was paying attention to something else.
No, he wasn't here to answer, so you can ask him about his stack.
Austin, do you have Julio at around 5.2 value, or was it a case of trying to make a stack?
No, I'm not going out of my way to make a stack here, but I'm not afraid to put him on the same squad either. I think that's a good price on Julio. I think he probably belongs, a little bit closer to the early 4th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, remember I made the mistake of taking Ridley and Julio 2 rounds apart, and Julio, because of the injuries, ended up screwing me last year. But it was but I don't have any. I like it, Austin. I don't mind taking 2 receivers from the same team that early if you think they're going to get the volume. I like the pick.
Certainly
All right,
not a lot of competition for targets there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's really a 2-man show there. There's not really a wide receiver 3, and unless you really believe in Ferkser, I just think there's going to be enough to go around. That offense is going to move,
and it's not like the running back's catching anything, right? So
he might.
Unfortunately, not.
Nope.
That the offensive coordinator they brought in.
Noah, damn it!
All right, I'm muted.
I'm just here for scoundrel reactions.
Hunter is muted for the time being. Between the interruptions and the screaming when he gets sniped, it is time to give him a little bit of a time. What happened? All right, now I got to find out what happened. All right, Hunter, what happened?
It's Miller.
You're confusing me with Trees from the first year, by the way. My last name is Miller. Todd Hunter is the 2Ds from the first year.
Okay, sorry.
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 No, I was fully expecting
ODB
to get back to me, and I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. So I'm kind of really not happy about that. I think ODB's going to be healthy, and quarterback fucker, whatever his name is, he stepped it up towards the end of the year last year. I think they're going to throw more this year, and I think ODB is going to be a gem. This late, I think he's going to be an incredible value.
All right,
I fully expect him to come back to me.
We've got you're on the clock. We've got Trey Sermon sighting in the 6th round, early 6th. His ADP has continually moved up. I need to see if there's any. Yeah, they took him in front of Chase Edmonds. So interesting. They've got Chubb and Sermon, Odell Beckham. So they've got a little bit of a Brown stack, and they've got Diggs and Evans. I like Trey Sermon. I think he might be the best back there. Billy, do you think that's a little early for your blood for Trey Sermon? And after Billy answers, let's go to Abib. Oh, because I know Abib likes him.
Let me just do my pick here 1 second. And
okay, they're actually Edmonds and Sermon are actually going in this range if you look at the last 5 days on Fantasy Mojo.
I think it's the right spot. I think it's the right spot for Trey Sermon.
Brown,
I'm
you are on the clock.
just knowing my Niners and knowing Shanahan. They never commit to one back. It's kind of a plethora of running backs because the system is designed that way. The schemes and how it works, and I think that it's also designed, quite frankly, to hurt running backs because of the cutbacks and just how the system works. So. That's why we always see them kind of load up on running backs, whether it's in the free agency or draft or whatever it may be. But I don't think that Trey Sermon's going to be the guy. I think the beginning of the year, I thought it was going to be Wilson until he got hurt with Mostert sprinkled in. I do think that Mostert is kind of the 1A right now, just because he knows the scheme, he knows the fit, he knows the system. I think Trey Sermon now is the number, the 1B. But I could see a scenario where Wilson does return, and depending upon who's the hot hand, whether it's Mostert or it's Trey Sermon, they are now the C or the B compared to Wilson being inserted as well. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a dice roll week in, week out once all of them are back.
I'm going to go to Abib in a second, but again, I'm going to ask whoever it is that we keep hearing your computer, if you could turn that down a little bit, I would appreciate it. All right, so we got Kyler Murray going to Abib. This is the range where you start seeing the quarterbacks go, and then Ron with Tyler Higbee a little earlier than he normally goes. We talk about, Ron talks about setting the ADP, but no draft that I'm in affects ADP, it seems, more than the Hardway draft. Theo, this is your first Hardway draft. What's your thoughts on, just the ebb and the flow and where people are going? A lot of the values you normally expect just aren't there.
Yeah, I mean, guys are very, very, very sharp in this league, and all the guys that we like T.J. Hawkinson, which might fall to maybe the early fourth. He's going to go in the third here. Austin takes Pitts early. Swift and Dobbins go a little bit earlier because of scarcity. And I think that what separates these guys from even some other sharp drafters is everybody in this room knows how to team build and really build a roster. And
I don't know what it is, Theo, but I can't hear you.
Oh,
okay.
I can hear him fine.
Yeah,
I can hear him fine.
Okay, maybe it's just my connection. All right. All right. So, JD, you got a question for the gang?
No, I think just to piggyback on what Theo was saying, I think that's definitely he hit the nail on the head there. The roster construction. You watch some drafts, there's always a couple, guys post their draft boards and everybody's on Twitter pointing out the 8 spot because he's got 6 tight ends in his first eight picks or whatever. But I mean, you look around and no matter how these started, you look at Noah's team. He started with Chubb, went 4 straight receivers, and then kind of brought back a young running back there to add to his team. The rosters are really well balanced. So I think that, like I said, I think Theo nailed it on the head with regards to the roster construction with it, which is going to give a nice. It's going to make this league really competitive. I'll say that, and I like what actually Austin just did with his 6th pick after taking the rookie tight end in the 3rd.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Claypool made it back because there was only one wide receiver I really wanted, and it was Claypool. I like him better for best ball, but I think, he just really showed out and forced himself on the field with a team like Pittsburgh. You normally don't see them giving first-year wide receivers that much opportunity. So I was really glad to see him make it back. Dan, your thoughts on Claypool and Josh Allen falling to the 6th after Kyler Murray?
Yeah, Claypool was definitely on my radar. I decided I was going to probably go quarterback there. And weirdly enough, I'm not going to stack Lamar with J.K. Dobbins just because I think, the two are a little bit mutually exclusive because if Lamar
Just
is running
don't talk about somebody who's still on the board.
Okay. I mean, we've been doing it the whole time, but sure.
All right. I'm sorry. I didn't notice. I only noticed it with you. Sorry, Dan.
I mean, if you want to know why I took, okay, I'll put it a different way. I took Josh Allen because he is not the quarterback that's associated with J.K. Dobbins, because his quarterback who is associated with J.K. Dobbins runs in a lot of scores. And for Dobbins, if that person is running in a lot of scores, Dobbins won't be. So I would rather just kind of bet on Dobbins somehow getting most of those rushing scores, and I'll take Josh Allen off to the side because he's a great quarterback, and getting him in the 6th round is ridiculous value because everybody's overthinking this draft.
Yeah, it's a great value, and I have no horse in the race as to why I mentioned that to you, Dan.
Also, God damn it, Austin.
Yep, same.
You suck.
That's the latest that I've seen Lamar Jackson go. So I have Andrews, so I will stack them simply because.
Yeah, it makes more sense for you to stack than for me to stack.
Yeah, and I would take Lamar if I didn't have Andrews there. Lamar in the 7th round, I like it.
So,
Austin, your thoughts on the quarterback so far?
All right, I'm going to piss off Theo here.
That's a fine pick. I mean, I had a hard time passing both Lamar and other quarterbacks that might be on the board. This is a tough draft, though, so I like the price on Carter there. I think receivers deep still, so I'll add another running back here. Not sure what we're going to get out of ETN right out of the gate, so trying to add a little depth there.
Sorry, Theo.
Got it.
I love the Devonta Smith pick. Dan knows me too well. That was a great pick there. I'm going to go with a little DJ Shark bounce back this season.
There you go.
Spot for him in the middle of the 7th.
You are up next.
Mark with the Chargers stack, Eckler, Herbert, and Keenan.
All right. So let's take a look at Mojo's.
Yes.
Okay, let's see who Abib was all excited about.
Abib is hoping that Bridgewater is the quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I heard him talking about Judy today.
It's a win-win situation because if it's Bridgewater,
and Judy have a huge connection. I'm sorry.
I think
Bridgewater and Judy have a huge connection.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win because if it's Bridgewater, we all know, the short intermediate routes. But if it's Locke, then what that means is Locke is sort of kind of taking that next step forward, and he's a better quarterback. So I think either way, and then the ultimate, the best case scenario is Aaron Rodgers gets traded. So he's one of my favorites.
I don't want to do this. I don't normally take a quarterback this early, but Prescott in the 7th is just silly.
Yeah, that's
that is ridiculous.
I got to do it.
I'm surprised that Hilo took him over Herbert. I mean, that he took Herbert over him. JD, your thoughts on that?
No, I was gonna tell Scoundrel. I feel like you just sniped Noah because Noah's a big Dallas fan. He's already got.
He set his whole draft up to do the Chargers stack, so he wasn't passing him there.
If he wanted Dak, when he took Sermon, he knew he wasn't getting Dak.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a surprise he lasted as long as he did, I think.
It's always worse when it goes right before your pick, though, Todd.
It is. Right. You can't help but getting your hope up.
Yep.
I actually have Herbert projected for 5,000 passing yards this year. They beefed up that O-line.
5,000?
I
do. Yeah, I think he's going to have one hell of a year. I actually have him projected for one spot ahead of Dak this year.
Wow.
When every time we draft, Billy reminds me that he's got Herbert for 5,000 yards, and every time I'm like, I'm a little worried about him because I think that you got a defensive coach in there, and they've had the talent on defense, and I just my worry there is that they're just not in as many shootouts as they have been.
I mean, look at what he did his rookie year. He broke every single rookie quarterback record with the exception of Andrew Luck's passing yards record. He broke the touchdown record. I mean, he broke every single record. They beefed up the O-line. He's going to have more time to pass. I understand the defense might be, a bit better this year, but I still think they're just going to let him air the ball out. And we look at what Eckler's done in the past. He hasn't been a 200 touch running back. He's done most of his damage through the air. So I think that we're going to see a lot of dump offs to Eckler, and they're going to continue to use him in that fashion, and they're just going to let Herbert air the ball out. I really like him this year. I'm extremely high on him.
Theo, would you agree with Herbert over Dak Prescott?
I'm a Prescott over Herbert guy, but I can understand what Billy's saying. I think they're both excellent value where they went. I mean, I went Mahomes probably a little early among this group. I wonder if he would have lasted me in the fifth, but I'm still happy to get Mahomes. He's my quarterback one, but I'd have Prescott and Herbert pretty close to that top tier of quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's something that I've been talking a lot about lately, and you don't see it as much in season long, but in best ball, Mahomes is going a lot in the fourth round, and then over the next round and a half, you see 6-7 quarterbacks going. And if that's the case, I would rather have Mahomes. One of the big reasons you don't take early quarterback historically is the fact that there's such a discount later on quarterbacks. Well, we're not seeing that discount this year. So I think the penalty for taking the early quarterback in Pat Mahomes in the fourth round is going to be much less this year, especially in best ball. JD, do you have a question for someone?
Yeah, no, I was just going to comment on what you're saying. I think it's just, and I was going to ask you guys, if you look at these quarterbacks, where does your first tier end? Have we ever had a top tier this wide? I mean, you can add one more quarterback to the guys off the board, and to me, that's my first tier. And when's the last time you had more than two or three guys that were, kind of wanted as that early quarterback if you're in a draft like this, right? It's a 1 QB, but you want to get an edge and you don't want to fall behind at the position either. So I think that's, in the past, Todd, I think the depth at the position was more in the sense that the point difference between your top guys and like your 12 to, even 24, there was a pretty flat line there in the middle. Whereas now I think you've got a big bunch of guys in the top, and we've seen them off the board. And then I think it falls off quite a bit and you've got kind of your next tiers, and that might be, I don't know if you guys want to comment on that.
Well, I think, look, all drafting comes down to who you have versus who everyone else has, right? So when you pass on an early round quarterback, you need to get someone who's so much better than who they're, let's say you go wide receiver. You need to get someone at wide receiver who's going to outscore by more than who the quarterback he drafted is going to get over your quarterback much later. So with quarterbacks going so early this year, I just feel like there's less of a penalty for not taking one, not taking the top one.
Nice pick, Theo.
Yeah.
I've been trying to draft as much as I can of Antonio Brown. I figured I'd take him a little earlier among this group because I know a lot of people.
He wouldn't have made it back to you.
No, he wouldn't have. Good pick.
You are up next.
And
can I say how surprised I am that Hub didn't take Pollard on that come around.
Dan sniped me. I was going to take Laviska. I was going to take Laviska.
I was
Brown.
praying Viska would make it down to me, and I thought there was no chance he would. So I was thrilled.
Theo, you have too many shares of Viska? Is that why you let him go by?
No, I do have a lot of Viska. I'm a little concerned lately about ETN and Shark. I think it's just kind of a lot of question marks in Jacksonville for me. I really like ETN, but I wanted to add some Shark, and I thought where I got him was, great value here. He's been going a little bit higher in some of the drafts I've been in.
Yeah, I was hoping to come out of this with at least one of Laviska or Antonio Brown. So I ended up with Brandon Cooks, who's not a bad pick there. We still don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to play. Right now, it doesn't seem like he is, but Brandon Cooks, I definitely had him behind both Laviska and Antonio Brown.
Cooks will still be the number one there for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely.
Getting a number one receiver in the 9th round is silly value, or 8th round is silly value.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not as good as what I had hoped for.
It's
There's the last quarterback in that tier for me.
yeah, agree.
And he went much later than he normally goes.
Crazy, 9th round.
Nice get.
It's a good pick by Austin
Martin.
right there.
Yeah, I was not going to take Pollard because, I'm building this team as if Zeke is going to be the guy, and it's too early to quote handcuff. So I'm going to go with a guy that I think has a pretty good floor and obviously a really big ceiling with an injury.
Nice. Big fan.
Who said that?
JD.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like A.J. Dillon a lot. I think he's a monster. I think they like him. And, obviously the offense is going to be a lot better with Aaron Rodgers. I think they're going to give him more carries than Jamal Williams got. I think he'll get 150 to 175, but he won't get the 30 to 35 catches that Jamal Williams got. I think Aaron Jones they'll use more in the passing game and give A.J. Dillon more running. Billy, what's your thoughts? You got a question for anyone?
No, just observing the board, taking a look at everyone's doing, taking a look at trends and stacks, and just analyzing right now.
How
My
about
brain's
you?
racking.
Thanks for that, Billy. I was hoping you would take up at least 15 seconds.
I'll go back
Abib,
to,
Abib, this is your first Hardway draft. What's your thoughts so far? How's the water?
Water's pretty warm. It's it's kind of what I expected. I think people are going to go get their guys. I expected quarterback to kind of fall a bit. I expected running backs to go a little bit earlier, although that may have just sort of kind of fell right into ADP by the end of the fourth round there. But it's kind of what I expected, and I think we're kind of getting into the interesting rounds where we're starting to really see, who's high on who, because this is where you really try and go get your guys, because now, you pretty much have your starting lineup. So now I'm interested to see who gets drafted by who.
Wait, what the, where's the? Oh, come on! You couldn't leave me, David Johnson.
You are up.
Wait, who the hell took Mike Williams already?
Oh,
Two-packer.
that would be two-packer.
God,
I wonder if that
damn
was
it.
a stack block for Hilo.
yeah.
Yeah, could have been.
Damn
I think it
it!
had
I
to
was
have been.
fully expecting him to come back to me. He was in my queue.
Theo just took
who
my
said
guy.
that, Theo?
Dang.
Theo, you're who said that Mike Williams went?
That was me. I was hoping for Mike Williams to come back to me. He's going to be. I'm fully expecting him to do some good things with Herbert this year.
I think we're going to call this the Hardway Todd gets sniped draft.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Well, his ADP is 109. I didn't expect him to be gone by now. That's. I guess it's not. Yeah.
Well, as they say,
84.
are you down with ADP? Yeah, you know me. This is not the draft for sitting back and waiting for your guy to make it to you for ADP.
Yeah, man.
Austin, we haven't talked to you. Oh, of course, I go to Austin. No, Austin's not up. Austin, thoughts on your draft and anyone's draft that you like right now?
I kind of specifically pushed up Pitts because I didn't really think I was going to like any tight ends at the 6-7 turn. Certainly wasn't going to force anyone at the 4-5 turn. And their font comes down to me at the end of the 6. Couldn't really pass that. So don't usually push 2 tight ends that early. It's not the way I usually go about it. But in hindsight, I probably would have went a different way in the 3rd if I know I get font at the end of the 6th. So that's kind of the main thing, that's kind of dictated the way that my draft has gone. But I feel okay about it. It's a tough draft room.
It is.
Not too many gifts.
Yeah, not too many gifts. Dan, whose draft are you looking at that you kind of like?
Honestly, I'm not really paying too much attention to anybody else's draft. I don't do a lot of. I don't.
I'm
do
the
a lot
same
of
way normally.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of stack blocking or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I'm just out here trying to put together the best team that I can put together, and I'll worry about what other people's teams look like when the thing is over.
Dan Williamson, just a guy sitting in front of a draft board, hoping that it'll love him.
That's right, exactly.
JD, you got a question for anyone about their draft?
I was going to ask the room with Hardman. Mecole Hardman's a guy I just find really hard for me to pull the trigger on this year. I don't know if Dan and I got burned on him last year. You had him on a couple of rosters.
I agree. I think there's a lot of Byron Pringle hype right now too. Like, I don't see him being worth this high of a round of a pick. I think it's, other than Tyreek Hill, I think the ball's going to get spread around a lot.
Yeah,
Either way, you're looking at the
both of
number
those
3 or
guys
number
early.
4 receiver in the offense, and it's still too early for me to take any Chiefs receiver out of Hill or Kelsey at this point.
Yep, and Noah and Evan went with Latavius early, but I felt that he's been a value on the board in most drafts, and it's interesting to see him go as early as he did, ahead of guys. James Conner going now after a few of these other guys. I feel like it's an interesting selection, and they took Ronald Jones too. I like Latavius. He's been a kind of a no-brainer for me in best ball at ADP. He's going 30, 35 picks after he went last year, and he sorry, someone just backed out. So Abib, thoughts on Latavius? We're really seeing a lot of guys that you normally see in the 10th to 13th round going in the 9th and early 10th.
Yeah, I think I was planning on handcuffing him. So thank you. You may have saved me from myself. He's actually in previous drafts, he's been one of my favorite targets. I love the these sort of kind of coveted handcuff picks. These guys that can really win you your leagues, but they go really late. I'm almost ending up with no Tony Pollard because of how early he goes. For me, there are a number of players I see in the 8th and 9th round that I really like, that I feel can contribute right away. So, but yeah, in this draft, I think it's a great pick, especially for his team build, where he's going to maybe be in need of some running back help if Trey Sermons or Damian Harris is not getting the production early on.
The guy who never gets any love, Jarvis Landry, goes to high-low. That's his fourth.
That was a total snipe pick. Thank you very much. High-low.
Well, I hope it doesn't lead to you sniping me, Dan.
Well, we'll find out. I mean,
there's no way we can't find out.
My finger is on the trigger.
Is it itching?
Next.
You did not take my guy.
There you go, Todd.
This is my favorite zero running back guy. I feel like he's got a really good floor. And then if Jonathan Taylor goes down, I think I think they're going to give him the bulk of the work. I'm really high on Nyheim Hines. Theo, your thoughts on this tier of running backs from A.J. Dillon and Pollard down to Nyheim Hines, how they've gone in this draft? Any of your favorites? Any that you're scratching your head about?
I was happy to get Kenyon Drake where I did. I'm starting to come around on him. I like the Latavius Murray selection. I think that if it's going to be Taysom Hill, I think he's going to have some value. And I actually really love Abib's pick of Jamal Williams. For me, it was between Pittman and Williams. I still like Swift, but I think Williams is going to have a real role. And I think that's a guy that Abib's going to be able to flex a lot of weeks. And if anything happens to Swift, I mean, Williams is going to be great value for him. So, I mean, there's some guys in this range. I generally find myself drafting more guys in this range than I do rounds 3 through 6 for running backs.
Yeah, and now Madison went, and that's definitely we're definitely seeing a lot of the guys. And I haven't done a lot of FBGs. So Austin, you do more FBG. Well, I think Austin, you're doing more FBGs. Abib, you're doing more FBGs, I think, than I am. Is it always this tier of running backs? Are they going a little early?
I've done a handful. I think I've done 5 slow football guys so far. I don't know. That's kind of the range, 9th to 11th. So it's not too irregular, I guess.
Yep, we got Noah. It looks like I don't see pictures, but Noah, are you there?
I am.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Noah!
What's up,
I'm
Noah?
doing pretty well.
I
Just having fun doing my first draft of the year. Haven't even looked at ADP yet, so
Too busy buying the dip, eh, Noah?
did Evan join you again this year?
I have not gotten a text back from Evan yet, so I've texted him but have not heard back from him yet.
All right, so it's just Noah this year in the 12 spot. I scroll the board. Yeah, sure. Hold on a sec. I got to scroll the board.
You can also hit Control and zoom in on your mouse. There you go.
You are up next.
I was really surprised. Austin taking Elijah Moore ahead of Corey Davis. I did not have Elijah Moore queued, but I did have Corey Davis queued. Austin, what's your thought of Moore over Corey Davis there?
Well, I thought the train had already left the station on Elijah Moore. I kind of thought maybe he was going to go off the board a little bit earlier here in this draft.
Yeah. Yep, agree. I definitely had him queued up even when I took Henderson. I was thinking about Moore there.
Interesting.
Now you are on the clock.
You guys aren't worried about with the re-signing of Crowder? You're not worried about him not being the protege to Crowder instead of getting the number 1 spot all of a sudden?
If Moore is any good, he's going to be all over the formation.
Wow,
so.
Really? I just got sniped. There goes Rager. Damn, that was early too.
Dwayne McFarland had a great comparison for Elijah Moore being rookie year Deebo Samuel and being used like that. Low ADOT, a lot of touches. I think that's a great take. I think he's going to be exciting for the Jets.
If they play him on the outside, are we convinced that's where they're going to play him? I mean, you got Mims and whatever the fuck the other guy's name is, but they could move him around a lot. I just feel like I would have loved him a lot more if they didn't re-sign Crowder. Now I'm kind of worried about it.
Sounds like Mims is the one on the back end right now. I think he's practicing with the 2 team. If the last thing.
Mims with the 2. Corey Davis has a slight injury, and then we still have Crowder re-signing, and then as well as Moore. I think they're starting to become quite a bit of mouths to feed for a rookie quarterback.
And Keenan Cole.
And Keelan Cole.
I still think push comes to shove, you're going to see Corey Davis lead that team.
I agree.
He's still young, 4 or 5 years, but everyone seems to love Elijah Moore, so maybe I'm wrong.
No, I agree with you. I think Corey Davis.
JD, your thoughts?
Number 1 there.
Is everyone frozen?
Damn it! I turned again already.
Sorry, you cut out there, Todd. I missed your question.
Seemed like everyone got frozen. Can you guys hear me?
Todd that's frozen. Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you now.
All right. So it seems like we had a blip in the force. I asked JD what his thoughts were.
On a specific topic, or just what's happening in the draft right now?
Well, I guess I don't even remember. I got thrown. Sorry. So you can freelance a bit.
Yeah, I'll go to Noah if Noah's still on, because I like what he did here. He went. Oh, is he off?
You are up next.
No, I'm on.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, Noah, I like your build, man. I like how you started running back. You hit some serious stud receivers. You came back with a rookie tight running back with upside. But then for me, it's what happens in the 8, 9, 10 rounds, and then moving on from there, because then you really see how guys build their rosters. And the fact that you land Brady there with all the studs you have, in the draft, in the rounds before him, I really like that build. Especially, you came back and picked up a little T.Y. Hilton that I think is a little undervalued right now.
Now you are on the clock.
In the 12th round, I'm fine with that. And then also, with Brady, I've got Mike Evans and I've got Ronald Jones as well. I'm not a huge fan of Ronald Jones, but in the 10th round, I think that's a fine pick. So
that was the understatement of the year, Noah.
If I remember right, I think Noah's hashtag is never Ronald Jones.
Yes, I believe that is exactly it.
I mean, he's just got dishpan hands, so it's
and Big Mac belly.
Yeah. I mean, I've got some things that I don't think are great about him, but if he's going to play and if he's going to get a little bit of the between the tackles work, I'm fine with having that as a bye-week filler for my running back position.
Yeah, he's your RB5, and you have a really nice mix of RBs, so I think he fits perfectly there.
I was going to take Rondell Moore, so Theo, thank you very little.
Theo's sniping everybody.
It's good value right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm starting to come around on him a little bit. We are seeing the second-tier tight ends falling, which is a little odd.
Sounds like something you say when you've already taken 2 top tight ends.
No, it's something you say when you're expecting to take a third tight end, but now you might have to.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Now, Todd, let's not talk about players that haven't been drafted yet.
Yeah.
Is that wrong? Should I not have done that?
Oh.
I just love
all right.
when Todd streams a 2-quarterback draft and Todd gets his second quarterback and he says, "Oh, there's about to be a quarterback run. Here it comes." Every time.
Hey, you know what? That's true. I am not afraid to admit that is the truth. And then Dan went and took the tight end that I was considering.
Yeah, I like that.
So
Dwayne, we had Dwayne. Dan, what's his last name? Oh man, brain fart.
McFarland.
Dwayne McFarland.
Dwayne McFarland. He's pretty high on Komet just with what's in that situation out there in Chicago and who he's fighting for with targets.
Yep, absolutely.
Martin, just grab my boy.
I almost took him. It was between Paris and Gabe Davis.
There's some nice receivers in this 12 round right now with Davis, Campbell, Bateman, Rondell Moore, Ruggs. It's pretty
especially for best ball. Like this is the sweet spot for best ball right now.
It really is.
So many incredible receivers that can go off any week. Like I find myself being incredibly heavy RB early in best ball this year just because there's so much value at wide receiver later. Not that anybody cares. I just thought I'd tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Well spoken.
Todd, how do you feel? I know you call it. What was that? How do you call it again? What's that word you call for handcuffs?
Well, I call it stack cuffing.
That's it.
But it's when you get 2 guys who are a good value on their own.
What?
And you put them together, and you hope that if you get an injury, one of them crushes. I'm on the clock.
Was that an auto pick taking Traquan in the 13th? Like wow. I've been like Traquan's on my list this year. I've been taking him every draft in like the 17th, 18th, 19th round. Like who? But like, was that an accident? Did anybody see if Darren auto picked there?
It'll say it on the draft board.
Right. He didn't auto pick. No,
it wasn't an auto pick.
And Austin sniped me. I thought I was early on Terrence, taking him in the 13th, but I wasn't early enough.
Holy shit! I was hoping to get Traquan tonight, but I was hoping to get him in the 17th. That's incredible. Holy shit! 13th round. His ADP is like 17th, 18th, 19th round. Something around there. I love the pick, but
So
He's been going around 15 on
Yeah.
FPGs, round 15 on average right now.
Same as Marsh.
round 15 is where he's going.
Yeah, yep.
Both Terrence and Traquan going in 15 in the last 5 days, anyways.
Man, if Winston is the quarterback, Traquan's going to be the shit for best ball, especially.
So is the DB on the opposing team.
Yeah. 30 and 30, brother. 30-30.
Hey, he got his eyes fixed, okay?
Quote unquote.
LASIK cures everything.
See, my fear with Winston is that Sean Payton's going to get cute and like he's going to run Winston between the 20s and then bring Taysom Hill in on goal line packages, and it's just going to limit his upside.
God damn, that's so annoying.
And you know it's going to happen.
You're right, and you're right. That's the worst part about it. 150. What am I? 155 is my next pick.
I'm deep diving. So, if JD, you have any questions for anyone?
Yeah, I was just curious to see where Dan was going. I was going to say this when Austin took Pollard and Gallup. I like these sneaky stacks, in these later rounds. So Dan taking Kmet and then Cohen back to back. I think that gives you, especially with this being tight end premium and a flex with the 2 flex spots, those two together can give you some pretty good weeks.
Yeah, and I got Monty up earlier, so
True.
Cohen made some sense there too. And then I took Moss and Singletary. So I've got between them and Allen, I've got basically a stranglehold on the Buffalo rushing touchdowns. Now, if I can just figure out who's going to score them and when, I'll be in great shape. That's all that matters.
Hey, Todd, can you do me a favor? Because I got like 3 screens pulled up. Can you just hit Control and zoom in on your scroll button to get that board a little bigger for me?
Sure.
Wait a minute. I'm about to get really angry. Wait, hold on.
That's not working.
Oh, Abib,
Yeah,
you got or what?
Hit Control and then scroll up on your mouse. You gotta hold it down.
So
Abib, was that you today talking about? Was that you talking about Trey Lance in these
That's too
tournaments?
big.
Because I really liked your explanation about that.
Yeah. I think depending on the quarterbacks, sometimes he's my first quarterback because I know I can get a stable quarterback, with a high floor, decent floor later on, or may usually go and draft to someone like a Cousins or Baker. But yeah, I like him. If you can stomach and stash him the entire year, which is tough carrying 2 quarterbacks. But if you can stash him the entire year, you feel comfortable with the rest of your team. I think he's someone I like to, take that roll of the dice with in hopes that I can hold on to him. And if he takes over the starting job, may provide significant return.
I was going to take him, so
Getting
good,
Hunter
good
Henry
pick there.
in the 11th, that's pretty darn good value.
15.
Oh, I love the Lord.
Single D, you ripped me off with the Paris Campbell pick. Nice pick, brother.
Thank you, sir.
That's yeah. Man, that's disappointing.
Well, Weekend in Paris was always one of my favorite movies.
Films.
He wasn't making it through the turn, so
That's
What's
what
that,
I mean
Austin?
in this league with ADP just goes out the window, man, because damn, he was supposed to make it back to me and he didn't. Just everybody gets their guys, man. It's
There
I
is
fucking
no
love it.
supposed to anymore.
Yeah, right.
Put it,
I love it. This is great.
My memory from this league every year is that the 18th and 20th round, other than kickers and defense, is literally picking through bones.
Yeah.
Just like literally picking through bones.
What the?
Kevin Wheeler says, LASIK Winston rules.
Shout out to Wheeler.
Yes.
Fuck, I have no idea who I want here.
My erstwhile partner, Shelly, first
Wait,
time.
which
long
one of
time
us? Which one of us?
I have like 9.
I thought this was Todd and his exes. That's what I thought this draft was going to be called after a while.
well, Dan, let's not go there. It's still.
Oh, sorry, that was a little
It's still
fresh.
a little. It's still a little raw.
The lawyers
Todd-
might be
Todd-
listening then.
Todd and his fantasy X's. How about that?
I just got autoed because I couldn't figure out who I wanted because I assumed that
Well, you're up again.
Campbell was going to make it back to me.
See, every time I heard Todd say his divorce, I just assumed it was his wife. I didn't think it was fantasy players.
No, it's all his former podcast partners.
My fantasy partners are like the drummer from Spinal Tap.
You're right.
Except instead of dying, they go on to bigger and better things.
Todd's
Well, at least you're like a
bad.
spring. You're like a springboard to
Oh,
the Todd.
I mean, the guy who's sitting the best right now is Billy, because like within 3 months he's going to be signed to some major site, and and no one ever asked me on after they leave. They never ask me on a podcast either. It's like I don't know. It's kind of awkward.
Noah just took my Ferk daddy.
Yeah, I like the double tap on the tight ends there with Gronk and Berkshire.
Damn it!
When Ferkser makes a good catch on third down and he turns and throws his arm up, it's called Ferk and 10. I apologize now to literally the three listeners.
That was not an intentional. Against obviously, I got autoed again. I apologize.
You can pause it. Pause it.
Is your computer freezing when you go to pick?
Yeah, it would. No, I'd like to make that excuse, but it was.
Or your brain. Your
He
brain
doesn't know who he wants.
No, I was listening.
I just
to you
hate.
guys,
I just hate
and
commission
staring
for
at-
you.
I was
It's
listening
like
to you
definitely
guys and
commission
staring
for
at
you.
who I wanted to pick and didn't realize I was on the clock. That's all right.
I just paused for you. Oh nope, he didn't pause it. Okay.
I definitely wasn't going to take Jared Dokes, so whoever had took Jared Dokes, you're welcome to have.
Here,
him.
I just paused it for you. Here, I just paused it for you.
All right, can we roll that back?
Yeah.
You got to make a comment and tell them what happened.
All right, hold on.
Tell them that it froze.
I will. Hold on.
So if anyone's listening, he auto picked with Marlon Mack, and on the way back, got himself some Ty Johnson action.
All right, Ty Johnson's a 20-round pick, not a 14th round pick. So
I don't know in this draft though.
Now you are on the clock.
All right, hold on.
14th round, Aaron Rodgers.
I'll take it.
Damn.
It makes a man wish he hadn't taken Lamar in the 6th.
Wow.
I don't
I mean,
like
what-
two quarterbacks, but round 14 for crying out loud, I'll take it.
Well, if your first quarterback gets Hurts,
Yeah, exactly.
The crazy thing is, guys, if you think this time last year, Rodgers
Austin's
was very,
face was great
very.
on
It was
that
very
one.
similar. Rodgers' values was low.
He was going around 11. That was the most owned quarterback I had last year was Aaron Rodgers in round 11.
It's crazy that he's going 2 rounds later after he just won MVP and he just took over the league.
I'm going to have to pull up another draft board to look at. You can't even see it now. All right, Abib's up. Abib is collecting.
Hold on.
Abib
Yeah,
is
I think-
collecting running backs, man.
Yeah, he
1,
paused
2,
it for Scoundrel.
3, 4,
I think-
5,
yeah.
6,
Hey, Scoundrel,
7.
he's asking for your intended pick.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Does anyone remember the draft that I did where Tango and Cash was in?
Yeah.
You remember that one, Dan?
Yes.
Miller's playing the role of Tango. Not as bad as Tango.
Nobody can play it like Tango though.
I think,
Oh
I,
my
think I
gosh.
remember that actually.
I
Todd.
literally couldn't get a word in edgewise.
Was that on your show? Was it on this
Yeah.
show?
Yeah,
I
it
think I remember that one.
It was on. We were doing this series where we were drafting. Get in the Ring, it was called, and I eventually just had to disconnect him. I asked him like nicely, like 4 times, dude, like in private chat on the podcast, and finally I'm just like, all right, I had enough.
I remember
We were
because at
very-
first I thought it was a shtick, and then I was like, no, I think he's seriously getting pissed.
So I changed my. I'm gonna get a lot of shit for doing this early, but I'm of the opinion that I hate having to try to stream defenses. The amount of volume that I do, I hate having to pick a new defense every week. So I think Tampa Bay is going to be.
So you literally stopped the draft so you could take a defense?
Yes, I did. That's exactly what I'm going to say. Because I don't get Mike Johnson. I get the 18th. Like I have plenty of receivers.
If there's a fantasy football hell, you have just assured your place in it.
I think you were better off with whoever you picked last time.
No,
Ty Johnson.
Tampa Bay's got one of the easiest strengths of schedule, and there's still plenty of receivers and running backs at this point. It's just a guessing game.
There's still 31 other defenses too.
Yeah, but Tampa Bay's going to be top 3 this year. I'm pretty sure. And I hate streaming defenses. I fucking hate it. So I'm gonna. Yeah, Ty Johnson is not going to do anything for me.
Just wait till he locks up that Jets offense, man. Come on.
He's going to get the. I like Ty Johnson. I think he's going to be. Come on, anybody voting for Coleman over Ty Johnson? Has anybody watched Coleman in the last couple of years?
Coleman's going to be the guy right up until he isn't.
Yeah, exactly. Coleman's not going to be the guy.
I think he's going to get more work than people are anticipating. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you might get 4 starts out of him, but it'll be the guy game 1.
I don't think anybody there is going to be the guy. So
I think
Ty
the Robert
Johnson,
Saleh connection is going to be stronger than people anticipate.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
I think so.
Yeah, I just don't see them committing to a 5'8" running back early and often. I think Coleman will be more of the early, 1-2 punch as long as he's healthy, and then they're going to sprinkle in Carter.
Well, it only takes one, and Cobra Kai is back. I don't hate the Tampa Bay defense pick, but I'm more aligned with Wheeler. Tevin is dust. And of course, Kevin knows me very well. I am so punny.
Carter, it's gonna be Carter and Johnson is my prediction.
I think you're right. Well, I think it's going to start with Coleman.
Austin keeps sneaking in those stacks. I love it. Hashtag.
Oh yeah,
he's stacking.
Yep.
I was curious to see if you'd get him. That's why I had the comment there. I'm like, is he gonna get the final piece?
I'm not a big one for stacking in season long like I am in best ball, but I mean, at the value he got these guys, it's a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's the point where it matters. When you can take Tannehill that weight and get the stack.
Exactly.
Todd, is there any way you can like zoom out on that screen so you can see the whole board a little bit better?
Once you get to 14, it's hard.
Yeah.
Some people want to see the whole board. Some people want it bigger. Hold on.
There's a happy medium here, I think.
Somewhere in between.
Yep. I'm going. All right, that's it.
Good. I like
that's
that.
Good. That's perfect.
That's good. Perfect. All right, so I have actually got receivers.
I didn't think anyone was going to take Pringle this early, but
wow, who did?
I did.
Dan,
I like him.
Oh, I love Pringle. That's a good pick. But
Dan went with the.
Who said that? Who said Pringle was a good pick?
I did.
Who's I?
The other single D.
Okay. now I'm concerned about it.
Hey.
All right. You know what? Unfortunately, this guy might get traded, so we're never going to see again the Hurts to Ertz combo. But you know what? Maybe he's. I'm not convinced that Zach Ertz is dust.
Unless he gets traded to Indianapolis.
If he at 15-3, I'm willing to take a chance.
I like it.
Yeah, got to.
Yep, for sure.
Especially behind the two behind Andrews and Kittle. I mean, that's can't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need him, but if he shows up, that's a pretty unique lineup down the stretch. I'm a big fan of Ramondre Stevenson.
Yes.
That's who I would have taken if he had made it back. Theo, thoughts on Ramondre, Javian Hawkins? I also liked Hayden Hurst's pick for Mojo.
I mean, I like the Ramondre Stevenson value right there. He's a guy I had in my queue. You know, I think he could have a role. I mean, I think he could take the goal line role. The only problem is, as long as Cam Newton's in there, how much goal line work could he get? But he certainly is going to get some touches. J.D. Hawkins will be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, I think that, you know, while Hawkins gets the advantage of, he kind of reminds me of where DJ Dallas was being taken last year. Kind of there's no one else. So why not take DJ Dallas? And teams, you know, I think Hawkins is more of a third down back anyway. So I wouldn't be shocked to see them bring in somebody, maybe the ghost of Le'Veon Bell. I don't know.
Yeah, that would certainly mess things up.
Oh, Theo, how could you take? Come on, man, McKinnon. Come on, man. I started drafting him like half a decade ago.
That's my guy. He's going to be the backup.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, I like it right there.
And Damian Williams, the pick before, that was extra sneaky too.
Yeah,
I was really thinking I might be able to pick him up in the 18th or 19th.
Yeah, that's what I figured. You know, why wait? You know, what is Tariq Cohen's situation right now? And how much better is David Montgomery than a healthy Damian Williams? I mean, I think he's better, but you know, I like Damian's chances this year. I'm trying to get some shares.
Yep.
You can tell Todd that it's a smart room, because if you look at the board right now, there's only two teams with two quarterbacks. One of them picked up Trey Lance in the 13th, and Muzio couldn't let that Rodgers value fall past the 14th. You know what I mean? Otherwise, guys are just rocking one QB.
Well, especially when you got Hurts too. I mean, you know, Hurts is not exactly a sure thing. I mean, the upside's enormous, but you know, having Rodgers is a safe floor to fall back on, assuming that he plays this year, which I think he will. That's a fantastic. You know, it's like the reverse stack. What I like to do normally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like Javian Hawkins in the 15th round. I don't mean to say that I didn't, but I you know. All these guys at this point are dart throws. We know they're dart throws, and hopefully we get to cash one of them in.
Right.
Yeah, Dan, to piggyback off you, exactly what my thinking was is if Hurts actually hits the upside, we're looking at potential Lamar Jackson style upside here. But worst case scenario, I can fall back on Rodgers.
Yep. Yeah, it's a great strategy.
Yep, I had a kick.
Plus, if Rodgers goes to Vegas, you got the Ruggs Rodgers stack.
Noah with the Dan Arnold pick.
Wow. What a beam. What happened?
Whoever was trying to join the draft, I couldn't let you in because there was 10. I let Triple H go. Oh, no, Triple H is back. All right, so whoever was trying, I guess you can't get in. Here's the comment of the here's a good one. Cobra Kai again. If Mike Davis went down, I think Adrian Peterson gets a call. I think that's a good call. Kevin Wheeler, you know, one of the smartest guys I know. Ertz is a great pick here in redraft. Thank you, Kevin. What about a separate link to a board, Kevin? That is on. Check my Twitter. And then the best comment by him is, Gurley has better knees than McKinnon.
Wheeler hates the pick.
So someone again is trying to enter the studio, but I've only paid to allow 10 people in. So I apologize that I can't allow. I imagine it's Darren Armani trying to get back in. Speaking of Le'Veon Bell, Triple H took a chance on the man who used to be king. But I think that Le'Veon is pretty toasty. He didn't show much either in New York or in Kansas City last year. And Kansas City was begging for a second running back to step up, and it didn't happen. So I'm
I
up
like
next.
Abib is stacking those running backs after round 9. I like it with Jamal Williams, James Conner, Rashad Penny, Samaje Perine, and then just took Justin Jackson to put behind Kamara, Mixon, and Carson. In a league like you guys are describing where you can't get running backs, that's some pretty good depth.
Well, my favorite late running back is still on the board.
Unless Dan takes him.
Yep.
I'm tempted.
You are up next.
Yeah, Dan likes that Rams defense.
That I do.
All right. Dave Hubbard jumped out, and Dave, someone text Dave and tell him he can watch it on. If he goes to my stream, it should be live on my Twitter feed. And whoever wanted to get back in, you can try it again. I like this guy. He's my favorite late running back. And I think if he gets the chance, he's going to be very good. It's Eno Benjamin. I know that most people think it's just going to be Connor or Chase Edmonds, but Eno Benjamin turned a lot of heads last year. I think they have confidence in him. They didn't add a running back. I like Eno Benjamin. You all can disagree now.
Somebody's got to.
Somebody's got to, and it's me.
No, a lot of people.
How many taxi squads is he sitting on right now?
Who?
Eno.
Oh, yeah.
Dynasty,
Oh, yeah.
these deep dynasty leagues with Eno Benjamin on their taxi squad. You guys
California Cannabis Report. So the Stone guy likes Billy Musio. All right. That's a vote. Let's see. I haven't looked at his draft in a while. Let's see. So he got James Robinson and Mostert. Mostert he got later than normal. Ingram, Hurts, Marvin Jones, Ruggs, Coleman. Yeah, another workman-like draft for Mr. Musio.
Workman-like.
It's a good
Wow.
vote.
And the guy that I thought that I could sneak through just went. I should have taken him instead of Eno, Jacoby Myers.
Yes.
I should have taken him instead of I should have taken him.
Who took Jacoby Myers?
He just went.
Mojo.
Are you kidding me?
Why would we kid you?
Damn it!
I do like Dragula.
You know this is the hard way, Todd, right?
Yes, I know, but this is crazy.
Like you keep getting surprised. You know.
I know. I shouldn't.
At some point,
surprised.
you'd think the surprise would wear off, but yeah.
I shouldn't be surprised at this point that they.
I think both
Yeah.
Aguilar and Myers, I think, are great.
Did Aguilar go too?
Yeah, Abib took him.
Yeah. I was looking at taking him or Brian Edwards, and I decided to go Edwards on that one.
Damn it!
Oh, started the defensive run. Yeah.
glad I could start the defense run. 2 rounds ago.
Yeah. No, you were
Sorry, I
early.
apologize.
You're an early
My
adapter.
Yeti full of vodka
Yeah, well,
is starting to hit now. So
Yeah,
And
Miller
the
shot his
funny
load
thing
early
is-
on defense. I'm the one who
funny
waited
thing
until the
is
time was
when
right.
the one time that Todd reaches, everyone's like, "Oh, thank God."
Oh, I love the Sanders pick. Then in the 17th round, that's legit right there.
Right. It goes with the Buffalo stack. I've been quietly collecting Buffalo players, so I got Captain COVID, Cole Beasley.
Company is not as impressed.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I'm not here to
Yeah.
impress you, Todd.
I like that pick too, Dan. I like it. I'm surprised he lasted.
And
that
here
long,
we go again with the refresh.
You are up next.
You are up next.
Your cock is caught in the
why do I
keyboard.
feel? I'd like to hear some more at this point. I'd like to hear some more from the guy who's actually won this for the last 2 years in a row. I'd like to hear some more comment.
Abib, your thoughts?
Sorry, what was the question?
I don't know. I muted him, but he wanted your thoughts on something.
He wanted more
feel free because I would like to hear from you too.
I mean, honestly, I'm a little shook. I think I was Dan Arnold going at the 15-16 turn. That hurt. That was a guy that I was targeting.
You wanted Arnold.
I wanted Arnold. I wanted Arnold. I'm a little upset about that, to be honest. But other than that, it's been a very interesting draft. Yeah, definitely a tough room.
I would say that is a fair comment. I was disappointed that Jacoby Myers went. I thought that, and it was dumb because no one would have taken Eno Benjamin there. I don't think.
I'm always debating between him and Nelson. And, hear all the great news about Jacoby, but the contract that they paid Nelson. So I'm just not sure what is OTA fluff versus what may actually happen. So I kind of want the money there.
I think I like Myers better for season long, and I like Aguilar better for best ball. When you have to pick, I think Aguilar is going to have more. There's Darren. Hey, Darren. When you have to choose when to start Aguilar, I like him less than Jacoby. So Fantasy Mojo, you've been in the background. What are your thoughts?
You are up next.
Fantasy Mojo, you've been in the background.
That's awesome.
We're still in the background. All right, Noah, are you there?
Hold on.
Well, I'll turn Todd's microphone back on. Then we'll at least have someone to talk. All right, Todd, you're back on.
Oh, thank God! Everybody should hear what I have to say.
That's my feeling. I'm gonna try and get this board a little. Oops. All right, that's the best I can do, guys.
Feel like I need another.
Dan, you didn't start the kicker run.
Well, no, it's about to start because I'm going to take this kicker just for every time that Kyle Pitts doesn't score, just so Austin can think of me.
Nice.
I was looking at this guy like 4 or 5 rounds ago. They just re-signed him.
Now you are on.
I mean, Crowder in the 18th round. I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that, and even if they trade him, he's probably going to a better situation.
Yep.
Well, I don't think they're gonna trade him now.
Well, they might or might not. I mean, he's more tradable now with the salary he has than what he was before.
That's true.
So,
he could. And right now, it looks like Mims is the odd man out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's early yet, so who knows? But it could be.
You are up next.
The main thing I tried to do here is I made sure I got my quarterback, my kicker, and my defense all in different buys, just in case I hang on to all of them. I feel pretty certain I'll hang on to Josh Allen, though.
It's a good little tidbit.
Yeah, he's worth holding on to. If he has a bad first game, don't drop him. But yeah, other than that, yeah, you want to try to have your kicker, defense, and quarterback on different buys, and even if you can get a tight end on a different buy too, if you're running light at tight end.
That's a good. Say that again. I think that's a really good point. Say it again.
So yeah, if you have your kicker, quarterback, defense,
you are on the clock.
all on different buys, it's it can help save you. if you end up sticking with all of them, because then you're only having to switch out one position on a bye at a time. And you can even throw your tight end in there if you're just running one tight end. And it can allow you to really focus on keeping your lottery tickets instead of having to drop them to pick up a kicker or something like that.
I love that. I never thought of that before.
I mean, and a lot of times you end up, your kicker or defense doesn't work out like you thought it would, so you're going to end up streaming, and so it matters for nothing. But there are a lot of times where it does kind of matter, and it's very helpful.
Yeah, I got my favorite kicker. I just think he's
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's. I can wait almost every draft and get him, and.
Yeah.
Dan, your tip was almost as good as my mango lychee sour ale that I just.
There you go. Ooh, sounds good.
So
now I'm going to do something I don't normally do, and I'm going to back up Josh Allen. But given the fact that this guy is still hanging around on the board, and I do have a Chicago stack.
No way. I like it, Dan.
We got to take some Fields.
Nice. I like that too.
I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a second kicker this late.
Next.
If you remember the first year of Hardway, I had an early kicker. I mean, I took Kyler in like the 6th or 7th round, and I took Lamar Jackson in like the 16th, 17th round.
You were on the clock.
Just because he was the best value on the board.
Yep.
I have no problem with two quarterbacks. What I don't like doing is taking a second quarterback when there's still really good draftable. When we're not just talking about darts.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, to me, Fields at that point is almost as much playing defense as offense. Just trying to keep him off of somebody else's roster, because I think if when he does see the field, he's probably going to do pretty well. There's another, at least one more quarterback that I'm really surprised hasn't gone, but we'll see what happens.
I think we're going to see a few of them go here at the end.
Right, exactly.
Well, I think also the fact that you got Fields, how many rounds after Trey Lance? Is that 6 rounds? I mean, that's
right.
I don't think there's 6 rounds of difference between these guys in 2021, in my opinion, anyways.
No. In fact, I think Fields is more likely to start than Trey Lance. I think that if because San Francisco is the better team, if Jimmy Garoppolo plays better,
we need sound effects.
It's the scoundrel snipe.
I've just sniped me again for like the 4th time. God
hey,
damn.
scoundrel! If I could just fancy, can you just come on? I can record that noise.
Yeah.
So every time.
Wait,
I love it.
Billy,
again.
Billy,
All
can you get that for my new soundboard?
I can actually. I can record it, and we can insert it into the soundboard.
Like,
that way,
every time something goes wrong,
every time somebody gets sniped, it's.
I'd be more than happy to give it to you. God damn it, that's like the 4th or 5th time he sniped me tonight.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like it's even funnier when it's like in the 20th round.
Yeah,
I know exactly.
Who got taken? That's got your panties in a bunch this late.
Amari Rogers was next on my thing. Yeah,
at least you got Keelan Cole.
I'm being a little over dramatic because I don't think Rogers plays this year. So maybe it doesn't.
Amari or Aaron?
No, Aaron. I don't think he plays.
Why wouldn't he play? He's 37 years old.
Because
I still don't get that. I still don't get that. I think at worst he misses a game or two.
No, I think that he's one of those guys that is so proud. He doesn't give a shit, and he's made so much money. He doesn't give a shit, and they're not going to trade him. I think it's going to come to a stalemate. He's going to be like, nope, I'm out.
You are up next.
That's my take on it. I don't think Aaron Rodgers plays this year.
Okay.
Now you are on the clock.
Wow, Trevor Lawrence. I like that.
Was that the end?
I would have taken I would have taken Lawrence if he was there.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me was a no-brainer. Good pick by Mr. Hubbard.
Yeah.
As you would expect.
That was actually who I meant to pick on that last pick, because I was talking to you guys. I got auto-picked again. I autoed again. I was actually going to take Lawrence.
It's
with
all
that
right.
last pick.
We go crazy over these last couple picks, but probably 80% of everyone taken after round 16 that's not a defense or a kicker is going to be on the waiver wire week 3.
Pretty much.
True. Yep.
I would like to thank Theo for saving me from myself, because I was serious. And
I could not resist Christian Kirk there in the 20th.
I
After
understand
taking him
why.
last year and being angry at him, I'll just cut him this year.
There you go.
Well, I like it because you have Rondell Moore in the 12th. You're getting, one of those guys are going to give you some weeks.
And I'm drafting my first cut here, so when somebody pops on the waiver wire,
You are up next.
it'll be by Nico.
But if Watson plays, that's I think that's one hell of a pick.
Now
there.
you are on the clock.
Yep. Yeah, it's got a chance.
Well, and I've got Cook, so Watson makes sense for me, taking a chance that he's around.
Yeah, that's a great player to throw on the back end of a roster, Todd. I mean, he's an easy cut if we get to the season. It looks like he's not going to play at all. But if he does play, I mean, I will pity you having to choose between Jackson and Watson every week, but that's the way it goes.
Well, I mean, if there's an injury to Jackson, God forbid.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to choose between Kyler and Lamar a couple years ago, and that wasn't easy. But as it went toward the end, it was like, all right, Lamar. All right, Lamar. All right, so that pretty much does it for the third annual Hardway Draft. Let's go around the room and get some final thoughts. Scoundrel, what's your thought? Oh, okay. All right. Let's go to Abib. Abib, it's your first Hardway Draft. Hopefully not your last. What do you think of your team? And what's going on? Where can people find you on Twitter?
So you can find me at Skywalker2000 on Twitter, as well as First and 15th, the new pod. As far as my team goes, I'm a fan. These are some of the guys that I typically target in a lot of my drafts. If I'm going to be weak in one area, I want it to be tight end, where it's a position that we traditionally struggle with preseason. So, outside of getting sniped on a few guys, I think hopefully one of these three or the waiver wire, I can find someone who can.
Wait, you got Todd Millard?
Yeah.
You got scoundreled.
I got scoundreled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, Gerald Everett was definitely one that I was hoping would fall to me. But yeah, outside of that, it was all in all a good draft, and then I ended it with Taysom Hill. Having Kamara and Michael Thomas. Who knows what the season holds? I know I have Kyler Murray, but it's a long season, and so it's nice to kind of have at least one pairing there, potential stack that didn't cost me anything.
I like Taysom more than Winston. Billy, who's the one guy that got scoundreled in your draft? That
I was really actually hoping for Antonio Gibson there. I wanted to hit Antonio Gibson on my round 2 and then come back with Terry. I've just been seeing Terry go there almost 9 out of 10 drafts. It didn't happen, but Waller fallen. It's a tough room. I just don't feel like any value really fell to me at any given round. It was more reactive rather than proactive in this draft. But I'm not really crazy about my draft, but I'm not really upset about it either. I think it's going to come down to at the end who's healthy and who's going to pop on a week-to-week basis.
Looks like we lost Austin somewhere toward the end there, so I can't ask him his biggest scoundrel, but I can ask Dan Williamson. What was your biggest scoundrel?
Probably getting Edwards-Helaire going right before my Ridley pick. I was really hoping to get a running back there. You know, and at the point where Edwards-Helaire went, then I knew I could probably get Swift or Dobbins coming around in the third, so it just made sense to go wide receiver there. But that really threw me off my build. Had I gone Eckler like I was planning to in place of Kelsey, I would have had that, you know, that one strong running back to start with and felt a little bit better. But I feel like, you know, once we got around to like Kupp and Allen, and I kind of started to climb back on top a little bit and got onto a build that made sense with what I already had. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm looking at all the teams. I don't see anybody who's really jumping out that, man, they're going to be crushing this league. You know, probably somebody is going to be a lot better than most of the other teams, but I can't see who it is right now. Hubbard has always, you know, had a great draft, but, you know, we'll see.
Kev Wheeler with Rodgers is going to pull a Favre, so I wonder who he's going to send a dick pic to. Theo, besides the Brock Lesnar comparison, which is now almost as famous as getting scoundreled, what do you think of your draft, and who was your biggest scoundrel?
I mean, I got sniped a few times. I was hoping to get Jamar Chase in the fourth, and they took him. And then I also would have considered. Excuse me, I would have considered Etienne. And then I wanted Chase, you know, to fall to me where I got Tyler Lockett. But you know, I'm happy with the Mahomes and Lockett where I got him. I think I kind of pivoted. It was not what I had planned. I did not plan to have Derrick Henry fall to me. Again, I was going to take Tyreek Hill 6 overall. So, you know, I was pleased to get Henry at 6. I think that was good value. If my team is going to be competing to win this league, I'm going to need DJ Shark, Antonio Brown, or Michael Pittman, and hopefully 2 of those guys to really outperform their ADP. And then among teams that I like the build of, I like Abib's team. You know, it's going to be a little light at tight end, but I like what he did with that Carson pick right there. I thought that was really strong. I like Billy's team, how he started with Tyreek Hill and Darren Waller and followed up with F1. He kind of needs the Miles Sanders to hit, but if Miles Sanders does, then he's got a very strong team. And I like Dave Hubbard's team a lot. I really like how he hammered those wide receivers in rounds 4 through 8, and I think he came away with you know, a really nice mix. He has the Bengals stack as well. So yeah, it was an incredibly hard draft. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I look forward to competing with you guys on the waiver wire.
All right, JD, I want to thank you for co-hosting and sitting in. You're younger than I thought.
I'm pretty old. I'm older than some of the guys in here, but I appreciate the compliment. Todd, I appreciate you inviting me to do this. This is a blast for me. I like to use poker, you know, comparisons with fantasy, and to me, this is like me sitting in the studio to watch a final table with some of the best in the game. And I'm lucky enough to be friends with some of these guys on the GOAT District. If you tune into our channel on the YouTube, I'm on there with Dan and Theo on the regular.
Oh wait, he got muted. I'm sorry. Hold on. What was that? Goat what?
GOAT District.
Do the noise. Do it. Hit it. Hit it. Hit the noise.
I turned it off. Todd was going to kick me off.
Goat District. Who co-hosts that with you?
I'm with Theo.
Yeah, he cut you out again.
Fantasy.
Who was it? I'm sorry, I missed that. Hey, we all know that it's Dan and Theo who are on the GOAT District with you, and everyone should listen to that. It's a fabulous podcast. I listened to it today with Abib, and I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad that I got a chance to get you on. You were mentioning poker, though. What's the poker equivalent of getting scoundreled?
Getting a dirty river.
Dirty river. All right.
Dirty rivered.
The old rusty river. Noah, you around?
He said he was backstage about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it. I'll mention my team. I really didn't get scoundreled too much. LaVisca would be probably the closest. that I got from Dan's side. And I was considering Michael Carter over Lamar Jackson on the other side. So those were the ones that Austin got. I mean, look, last year, this league really came down to who played waivers the best, and it was Hubbard. I mean, I looked at his draft from last year, and it wasn't exactly stellar. So a lot of work to be done. Very good draft guys. Oh, wait, Miller. Scoundrel. Hey,
Yes,
Scoundrel.
sir. Yes, sir.
What was your favorite pick that didn't get Scoundrel?
My favorite pick that didn't get Scoundrel? Like the favorite one that I got that I was surprised that I got?
Yeah, like who was the one player you got that didn't make you want to jump out of your seat?
I'm thinking maybe
and commit
Gage.
Harry Carey.
I'm thinking maybe Gage in the 10th, or Shepard in the 16th.
All right.
Gage in the 10th or Shepard in the 16th. People are really undervaluing Shepard at this point. But Gage in the 10th, think you can't. It's going to be Ridley. Obviously, it's going to be the number one. But if you look at I don't know the exact stats off the top of my head, but I remember looking at them a few weeks ago. And if you look at the last 6 weeks of the year, Gage was on track to be a top, a wide receiver 2 for the rest of the time. Pause. I've had that vodka has hit me, boys. Shepard.
So Gage down the stretch real quick. Gage averaged 8 and 13, 7, 14, 10 and 15, 5 and 16, 11 targets and 17. He had a good stretch had a good run down the stretch, and without Julio in the lineup, I think Gage is going to do pretty well.
Yeah, but then everyone, you think about Pitts. He's still talking. Well, you think about Pitts being there, and I like Frank Darby. I didn't draft him in this one, but I think that guy's got some talent. I liked what I saw out of him. He kind of reminds me of an Anquan Bolden type. So I'll be interested there. I guess that's going to do it, folks. Another good Hardway draft. I want to thank all the people for coming on. Scoundrel, Abib, Austin, Billy Muzio, Dan, Theo, JD for helping to co-host, Noah for showing up and saying hello. That's going to do it, guys. My next podcast is coming up in next week. I'll be on Billy Muzio's podcast, and we'll be drafting a live FBG together. And the day after that, I've got TJ Hernandez on to discuss an article that he wrote about underdog fantasy and how to handle the running back position. Abib, I'd like to get you on the week after if you're free, buddy.
Yeah, man, I'd love to join. You know where to find me.
I need to get the scraps of the few things that the boys didn't ask you. I thought they asked you a lot of good questions, but I'd love to have you on. That's going to do it, Dan. Best of luck on that Minnesota evening, buddy. And I'm going to say aloha from Pennsylvania. Oh, Billy's got his daughter. That's
Sammy
cool.
Watkins.
Or is that his son? Oh, that's his son. I'm sorry. And there's Mrs. Muzio.
Nice.
I'm sure she's going to love being on TV. All right. That's going to do it, guys. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.